Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Homecoming 2025 as we bring you the very best of the Black Hills Conference, your St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Well, good evening, everybody. Mike Fell with you. Happy to have you along with us tonight. The Cavaliers are getting ready to take the field. Here they come. They are in their classic homecoming jerseys, paying tribute to Cathedral High School, paying tribute to St. Martin's Academy, and of course, our very own St. Thomas More. Well, good evening, everybody. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Technical Director Braden Strain. Happy to be with you on a crisp, beautiful autumn evening for high school football as St. Thomas More plays host to lead Deadwood. The lead Deadwood Gold Diggers 0-7, taking on the number two ranked 7-0 St. Thomas More Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are going for a number of exciting things tonight. Some records, some milestones, and some remarkable achievements. Let's take it from the top. First, St. Thomas More is going for a perfect regular season, something that has not been accomplished in well over a decade. That is a special achievement. I've been calling games for 30 years, and this would only be the fourth time in my career as a high school broadcaster to have an opportunity to broadcast a team with a perfect regular season slate. The Cavaliers are also going for a school record that they set a year ago. They're going for 6 consecutive shutouts. If they can put a 0 up on the board here at Cavalier Field tonight in Rapid City, the Cavs will win. Go ahead, switch over if you want to. They will achieve 6 consecutive shutouts. That might even get close to tying an 11-man state record. We just don't know, but if the Cavs can set their own school record with 6 in a row, you have to think it might be an all-time record in 11. All right, welcome back, everybody. Had a little bit of a technical switchover. We are ready to roll. We do have something spinning here in the middle of the screen. Is that okay? Oh, there we go. We are ready to go. So St. Thomas More is going for 6 consecutive shutouts. Also tonight, Coach Austin Hagan is going for his 20th career win. He is off to a tremendous start in taking this Cavalier program to some very exciting places. And Coach Hagan going for his 20th career victory tonight. So to recap, the Cavs are going for a school record 6 consecutive shutout. They're going for a perfect regular season, and they are also Coach Austin Hagan, and the Cavaliers are going after Coach Hagan's 20th career victory in just his 3rd season at the helm. Those are the milestones. There's some other exciting things happening. It's also the Hall of Fame night as the late Jim McGuire was honored and inducted into the Rapid City Catholic Schools Cavaliers Hall of Fame, as was Dennis Stock and Pauline Casey, the owners of Bear Country USA. So a lot to be excited about. It's homecoming. You have to love the spirit. We will bring you the homecoming festivities. Regan Dewar will give you the camera work, and of course the Ms. Vickers will have the public address presentation of Homecoming 2025. And what an exciting time to be around St. Thomas More. It's been a fun homecoming week. Coach Austin Hagan said it's been a lot of fun, but it's been filled with distractions. Cavaliers are going to focus on getting fully ready for the playoffs. Graydon Shuve will get the night off, and some other Cavalier players will probably see a reduction in their minutes. But what's most fascinating to me tonight is we will see the unveiling, Coach Hagan said, of the outside zone blocking scheme that's been constructed and designed by assistant coach Stone Durham and members of this outstanding St. Thomas More coaching staff. It will really be fun. And how about Coach Nowotny in his 50th season coaching football, going all the way back to the bicentennial year of 1976 in Austin, Minnesota, the National Boys Assistant Coach of the Year for 2025. He is at his 50th straight homecoming game, and there's just so much pageantry, so much flair, pride, excitement. And look at the students. They are lined up. They've got a banner that says Smash 'em. Maybe that's an honor to the movie The Smashing Machine. I don't know, but the Cavaliers are getting ready to roll and take on an 0-7 Gold Diggers team, which quite candidly could very well have 2 or 3 victories under its belt. They've just come so close under first-year coach Michael Barchand, but it should be noted the Gold Diggers almost gave Mobridge Pollock their first loss of the year at the time. They gave up a long bomb touchdown at home in the final moments of that one. They also lost a heartbreaking 19-18 game against the Custer Wildcats, a team that we saw earlier this season. So when you look at the Gold Diggers, they're not the same Gold Diggers team they were a year or two ago. They're definitely better. They're going to run some offense out of the Wildcat formation, and they are ready to finish the season strong, and that they're going to just try to finish the season the right way. This looks to be their final game of the regular season based on the 0-7 season that they have had to this point. Well, this is week number 8 of the year. If you're wondering where does this game fit into the mix for St. Thomas More earning playoff position, well, this is what it looks like. The Cavaliers, if they win tonight, based on projections, will earn the number 3 seed. That means the Cavs will host the first round of the playoffs, and if they win in the first round, the second round of the playoffs. But if things play out according to form, they would likely have to travel to either Woonsocket or Wessington Springs or Forestburg to take on the Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central Bucks, who have had a marvelous season. And we will see how as everything plays out. The Cavs are determined to make it to the Dome, and according to the statewide media poll, the Cavaliers and Elk Point Jefferson are considered the consensus top 2 teams in the state of South Dakota in Class 11B, and the Cavs certainly have their sights set on what they hope will be a lucky 7th trip to the Dome as they look to take on most likely Elk Point Jefferson if they can get to the University of South Dakota campus in Vermilion. Well, we're getting ready here for the introduction of the starting lineup. St. Thomas More versus Lee Deadwood. We'll take things over to the public address announcer momentarily. First, we want to send this message along from our friends at Security First Bank, who brings you tonight's game. Cavalier fans, celebrate this amazing season with the Cavalier debit card from Security First Bank. Show your school pride every time you swipe on your way to the state championship and beyond. Security First Bank, they love your Cavs. Member FDIC. And congratulations to the Cavs and the Lady Cavs on an incredible season. Security First Bank is proud to cheer for our teams and support our communities on and off the field. Security First Bank, member FDIC. We want to take a moment, congratulate Tracy Stamper and the St. Thomas More cheer team. They won runner-up, in case you hadn't heard the news, in the Black Hills Conference, finishing only second place to Sturgis Brown. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our PA announcer, and Ms. Vickers will introduce the starting lineups for tonight's game. This is the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. And here come the Cavaliers. We're getting ready for kickoff. St. Thomas More tonight, going for a perfect regular season, trying to finish 8-0. Look at the site, all the sixth graders from the St. Thomas More Middle School racing off the field after making a tunnel. And man, they'll never forget that moment as they help welcome in one of the greatest, perhaps the greatest team in St. Thomas More history, the undefeated STM Cavaliers. Let's now take a moment, turn attention to our flag, and salute America with the playing of our national anthem. Wow, an absolutely tremendous performance of our national anthem by the granddaughter of newly inducted Hall of Fame member Jim McGuire. That was Sadie McGuire with our national anthem. Well, good evening, everybody. Mike Fell along with Technical Director Braden Strain. Regan Dewar, it is homecoming. There's nothing quite like homecoming football Friday night. That's what we have tonight. The Gold Diggers captains getting ready to walk across the field for the coin toss. They'll meet up with St. Thomas More's captains. So Graydon Juvie, you can see he is not suited up tonight. They're just getting him all rested. He takes a pretty big punishment over the course of the season, toting the rock, and they're just getting him fresh for the regular season, for the playoffs. And next week on Thursday night, we will have the playoffs for you. We think it'll be St. Thomas More in a rematch with the Hot Springs Bison. We'll be on the air at 5:40 with kickoff set for 6 o'clock on Thursday night, October the 23rd. We'll see who wins the toss momentarily. How about the St. Thomas More Cavaliers captains, just providing tremendous leadership. We're talking max speed and Cole Nielsen and Graydon Juvie. And we're just so glad to have the kind of leadership we have. A coin toss has happened. We'll find out who won it in a moment. And it looks as though Lee Deadwood has won the toss. And do they want to receive? Nope. They want to kick off, and they will defer to the second half. So the Cavs will have a chance to score first. They will receive the opening kickoff. Lee Deadwood in their maroon helmets, maroon pants with the white jerseys and the gold numerals. These two teams met up a year ago up in Deadwood, and I was not able to be there because my wife Cassandra and I welcomed our little one-year-old baby baby who's going to be 1 year old tomorrow, little Cosette, into the world, and sure thank Braden and Regan. They were up I think in Deadwood to film and stream that night without the audio broadcast. So tonight we've got it all. We've got the whole thing. Now, only thing I wonder is Braden going to fly his drone at the homecoming halftime? We doesn't know yet. Well, we will let you know if the drone goes skyward at halftime on homecoming 2025. Special homecoming welcome to all the alums who have come back to Rapid City to be a part of homecoming this year. So Lee Deadwood will kick off right to left across your screen or mobile device. I guess your mobile device does have a screen, or your smart TV, however it works. And we are ready to roll here. So glad to have you with us. We are moments away from the opening kickoff momentarily. So we're getting ready. The ball is on the tee. And St. Thomas More back to receive. We'll have Kane McLeod as well as Burke Eschmeyer. Burke Eschmeyer in for Graydon Juvie takes the return. There's a flag down. It's a pink flag. Oh, I guess that's for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I didn't see the yellow flag, and instead I saw a pink flag. I guess we're throwing pink flags tonight, and they're going to likely bring this return back a ways. That was in the vicinity of clipping. We'll sort this out momentarily. Just things to get used to. I guess we have pink whistles. One of the officials has a pink hat, pink armband, and you have to love the display of support for all those battling breast cancer here. But the pink penalty flag, whoa, that takes something to get used to, that's for sure. So here we go. The Cavs break the huddle. First down and 10. St. Thomas More trying to get to 8-0 on the season. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Braden Strain in the gun. It's Noah Wald. Wald fakes a handoff, drops the throw, rolls to his left, being chased, finds a man open. That ball is complete to Kane McLeod for a gain of 6 yards ahead to the 37-yard line. It'll bring up second down and 4 for the Cavaliers. Cavs showing respect for the great Catholic high school tradition that we have here in Rapid City. The Cathedral Gales represented on the front with the green. The St. Martin's Academy Ravens represented on the back with the black numerals, and STM's bottom jersey shorts pants are their regular STM version. There's a run by running back Josh Elder. That's close to a first down. In fact, he did pick up enough yardage beyond the line to gain and move the sticks. So it's first down and 10 now. St. Thomas More, opening drive. Happy to have you with us wherever you are tuning in tonight for this homecoming game. Cavs trying to get on the scoreboard first. Back to throw is the commander, Noah Wald. His pass is incomplete. That pass went right through the hands of senior receiver Ryan Negebauer. That'll bring up second down and 10 for STM. Cavaliers have had a magnificent season. You look at the results and you will come away absolutely wowed by the statistics on both sides of the ball the Cavaliers have posted. Here comes a run to Elder. Elder at the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, and he twists and turns, and a couple of pink flags come in at the end of the run. This might be a face mask against the Gold Diggers. Let's see what this penalty is. I think it's going to be additional yardage tacked on to the end of what was a 24-yard run by Josh Elder. The officials yet to announce the penalty. St. Thomas More breaks the huddle, but there's still a pink flag down. Coach Hagan getting an explanation here. Let's see what we got. We have a face mask. That indeed is the call against the tackler or one of the would-be tacklers on the play for Lee Deadwood. So tack on an extra 15 yards to the end of that run, and the Cavaliers now are just outside the Gold Diggers red zone at the 23-yard line. First down and 10 Cavaliers. I formation set. Speed lining up in the backfield. Cavs go 3 wide. Wald in the shotgun, hands the ball to Elder. Elder plenty of room to run. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5, and he will score the first touchdown of the night here on Homecoming 2025. Josh Elder runs it in from 24 yards out. Quite an encore after he had a 24-yard run the previous play, and that was really easy. But that was also significantly another example of the unveiling of this outside blocking scheme that Stone Durham has been putting in as the season has gone along. So it's always exciting to bring another dimension to your offense right before the playoffs, and that's what the Cavaliers are up to. Here comes the PAT kick by Stamper, and it's good. Negebauer with the sure hold. Cavs are on top 7-0. Let's recognize our great sponsors who bring you tonight's action. Not only is Security First Bank a great sponsor, but so is Collins Siding and Monument Health and Strain Chiropractic, all proud sponsors of your Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. Well, it's a bit chilly. Earlier today, it was downright warm. I went ahead and had to take off my coat. If I was driving around, I probably would have thought about turning the air conditioning on, but that's when you know you live in South Dakota, when you can have a day where you almost need to reach for the air conditioner, and then you have to pivot and think about turning on the heat before the night is through. So there you go. It's life in western South Dakota and life in the Midwest. I wouldn't trade it for life anywhere. Here we go, 7-0. Carter Stamper to kick away. Ball is at the Cavs 40. Stamper with a strong definitive boot kicks it through the end zone. That will be a touchback as Lee Deadwood will take over on offense for the first time tonight. Well, on the way here, I had a chance to enjoy a pumpkin spice shake from Culver's, and man, was it good. But I was torn. I also thought about getting the salted caramel pumpkin spice custard concrete mixer. So wherever you go to get your pumpkin spice, make sure you go to Culver's first. Proud sponsor of your Cavaliers. Here we go. First down and 10. One man in the backfield. In the gun is the quarterback. Handoff goes right side for Lee Deadwood. The running back makes a man miss, then gets dropped after a gain of 2 yards. It's really hard to see the numbers on the players for Lee Deadwood. They have that gold, that home state gold, up against the white jerseys. Of course, the home stake mine, that absolutely legendary mine in Lead, where a lot of gold has come out of the Black Hills. Here we go. Man goes in motion. It's going to be a quarterback keeper, and that time Cavaliers sniff out that quarterback keeper and make a tackle. It is a positive yardage play of about 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Again, just kind of struggling here to catch the rosters or catch the numbers for Lee Deadwood, as the numerals with the team far away from our broadcast site are pretty hard to read. Enzo Stone is the quarterback. He drops to throw. His pass is caught for a first down and more. Running hard, picking up 25 yards with a great crossing route is junior receiver Blake Jansen. So Enzo Stone connects with Blake Jansen on 3rd and 5, and here come the Gold Diggers. Now we're seeing the Gold Diggers show that they were indeed close to beating Mobridge Pollock, a 6-1 team on the year, a couple of weeks ago. Gold Diggers will go 5 wide, empty backfield. Stone, the quarterback, going to keep it himself. He gets wrapped up and tackled for maybe a gain of a yard. St. Thomas More, assignment sound, going for their 6th consecutive shutout as the number 2 ranked team in the state of South Dakota in the state's smallest 11-man football classification. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Braden Strain. Let's see what happens next. The Gold Diggers break the huddle. They go 4 wide. Here comes a handoff. There's a fumble on the exchange. Ball is loose, and the Cavs have recovered the fumble. The Cavs recover the ball. I think that was Max Speed. And he recovers the ball at the 45-yard line. What a great play by Max. At that time, the play for Lee Deadwood never had an opportunity to go anywhere because the handoff from quarterback to running back was muffed, and instantly the ball was on the carpet. So the Cavs have it now, 1st down and 10. They begin their 2nd drive of the night. They had an impressive opening drive encapsulated by a 24-yard touchdown scamper from Josh Elder. Here comes an inside screen to the tight end, Speed. He's at the 45, the 40, steps away from a possible tackle, gets dropped right near the sideline on the visitors' bench, and he picks up a 1st down. Great play there. A very impressive touch pass by sophomore quarterback, the commander, Noah Wald. So now the Cavaliers will have it, 1st down and 10 at the 30-yard line of Lee Deadwood. Cavs going from north to south here at Cavalier Field under the lights on homecoming Friday night. In the gun, it's Wald. He gives to Elder, plenty of room to run. He's at the 20, the 15, breaks a tackle. He might score. He's close to the goal line. He is tackled just shy of the goal line. Actually, he's tackled at the 4-yard line. That time, Josh Elder, he kind of stepped out of a possible tackle. Then he hurdled a would-be diving arm tackle, but kind of lost his balance, slowed down a little bit, and then there was a Gold Digger able to prevent the touchdown. So here it is, 1st down and 10, Cavaliers. Cavs are lining up in the I formation set. Receivers split to both sides of the alignment. Fullback is Elder. The tailback taking the pitch is the Swiss Army knife, Kane McLeod. McLeod runs to the left side and gets dropped for a loss of 1. That'll make it 2nd down and goal to go at the 5-yard line coming up. Here comes the Cavaliers, 1st down and 10. There was a penalty, a holding penalty that pushed the Cavaliers back. I formation set. Quick fake handoff. Rolling to his right is Noah Wald. Wald throws to the end zone. Max Speed makes the catch and gets the touchdown for the Cavaliers. St. Thomas More is on top, 13-0. Wald to Speed from 14 yards out, and the Cavs are really rolling now. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Strand. Appreciate it. All right. We are getting The Cavs are off to an outstanding start. What an impressive rollout and pass right there. Cavs will now line up for a PAT kick, trying to take a 14-0 lead. Snap, back is down, kick is up, and it is good. Carter Stamper kicks the ball deep into the track portion of the Cavalier field, and the Cavs have a 14-0 lead, and great to have the homecoming info. We will not share it with the audience until you see it live as it happens, but we're getting exciting times for the homecoming night. We'll know the homecoming court. Last year, the homecoming queen was Sloan Kessler. The homecoming king was Declan Duffy. It's 14-0 Cavaliers. Josh Elder with a touchdown run, and moments ago, a pass from Wald to max speed. Thankfully, because the Cavaliers are fighting for a number 3 seed tonight in the 11B football playoffs, this will not be the last game the Cavaliers will play on this field. Last year, the Cavaliers, of course, were the ultimate road warriors with playoff road victories on a pair of Thursday nights at Groton area and Mount Vernon Plankington. But the Cavs tonight know they will not have to go on the road until the month of November if they continue to win. So there's a kick through the end zone. It'll be setting up a touchback, 1st down and 10 for Lee Deadwood in a matter of moments. St. Thomas More. What a season it's been. We spent August the 7th, day 1 of the training camp at Terra Sancta with the team. Brought you the special previews, and what a day that was. And there's just been so much anticipation for the season, and this team has lived up to all the advanced billing and hype, trailing only Elk Point Jefferson in the Kettleland statewide media poll coming into week number 8 tonight. But the Cavs will most likely not be in position to have home field advantage through the 11B playoffs because some of their opponents, West River opponents, have really struggled, and that has brought down their point standing positions. Here we go. In the gun, it's Enzo Stone. Stone takes a snap, runs to his right, tries to break it outside. He gets thrown down to the turf after a gain of about 2 yards. That'll make it 3rd down. Let's call it 7. Well, 3rd down, we'll call it 8. Brody Willits makes the tackle on that play. St. Thomas More representing the traditions of not only STM but St. Martin's Academy and Cathedral High School here on homecoming. Running to the left. Is picking up a couple of yards there. Was a tailback for Lee Deadwood. Josh Elder made the tackle. And our apologies again. When the action is on the far side of the field, the gold against the white is extremely hard to read under the lights here at Cavalier Field tonight. Now here comes a punt. Back to return is the Swiss Army knife, the one and only senior Kane McLeod. Here comes the punt. McLeod chases after it, makes the grab, splits through a defender. He's loose. He's at the 45, the 50, the 40, turns on the jets. He's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Kane McLeod. The Swiss Army knife cuts like a knife through the coverage teams of Lee Deadwood and takes it the distance. A 70-yard punt return gives the Cavaliers a 20-0 advantage. Wow, what an amazing return there by Kane McLeod, and that has to bring a big smile to Coach G and Coach Joe Gutierrez and the special teams for STM. They have now had 3 punt returns for touchdowns this year from Kane McLeod. That's a hat trick for the Swiss Army knife. Here comes the kick, and it's good from Carter Stamper. And the Cavs now are on top 21-0. Man, did you see how fast Kane McLeod raced down the St. Thomas More sideline? I swear he was even faster than Broden Sales when Broden Sales had that touchdown against Bellefouche on that catch and run play that was really remarkable a couple of games ago. Mercy. These Cavs could flat out fly, and of course Graydon Juvie, he's in his own category of speed and acceleration. St. Thomas More 21, Lee Deadwood 0. Cavs dominating the 0-7 Gold Diggers, who appear headed to a season without a playoff appearance. Cavaliers are a team with very legitimate state championship aspirations. They know how hard it will be. They remember their trip to Winter the first Friday in November a year ago. But man alive, they've got what it takes to get to the Dome and do something no team has ever done in school history when they get to the Dakota Dome. The Dakota Dome, the 8th wonder of South Dakota. We've got a automatic touchback, and Lee Deadwood will have it first down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Want to thank our great sponsors that include Quinn Construction, Shields, Wautiki Water Park, Ruby Tuesday, that's where the Cavaliers eat, Rosenbaum Signs, and Meyer Dental. Here we go. There comes a quick pitch to the running back. He makes a man go backwards for a moment, and then he's tackled by a pair of Cavaliers. On the carry there was Zaid Seaman, the sophomore for Lee Deadwood. St. Thomas More having so much success in all fall sports this year. How about the Lady Cavs soccer team, coached by Coach Cassidy Stolley, finished in the Final Four. We'll get back to this in a moment. Running with it is Seaman out of the Wildcat. He's tackled for a loss. Of course, the boys golf team finished 3rd in the state. Hayden Haig was state champion. The Lady Cavaliers in volleyball are all alone in first place going into their second to the last game of the season at Bellefouche on Tuesday night. Good luck to head coach Michaela Phillipson and the Lady Cavs up in Butte County coming up Tuesday night as they play for a share of the title. And on top of that, the soccer team made the playoffs as well. There goes a pass to Jansen. Jansen spins, makes a Cavalier miss, gets the ball just beyond the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th down and 9. That's a gain of 6 yards. Jansen, to his credit, already with over 20 yards receiving tonight. Not very many receivers in the Black Hills Conference can say they got over 20 plus receiving yards against STM's defense, let alone in the first quarter. Comes a long kick taken by McLeod, and he's dropped. That time Kane McLeod didn't have any room. Or check that. That was Ryan Negebauer, not Kane McLeod, with that catch and return. So the Cavs will take over close to midfield. Outstanding field position, up by 3 scores, 21-0, with just 2:26 to go here in the first quarter. So the cheer team, they finished second in the Black Hills Conference. Congratulations to Tracy Stamper and the team. The Cavaliers are rolling in so many areas, so we're going to have a special first ever fall sports meet the Cavs. You don't want to miss it, coming up on Wednesday, October 29th. Here goes a handoff to Elder. He's at the 35, the 40, and he's dragging a tackler deep into Gold Digger territory. Maybe not that deep, but deep enough to move the chains out to the 34-yard line. St. Thomas More threatening to take a 28-0 lead with this drive. Here we go. The Cavaliers will line up, efficiently operating their offense right now. We've got a whistle, and as soon as I say that, we have a timeout called by St. Thomas More's coaching staff before the snap. So the Cavs will talk things over. Let's take a moment, recognize some other great sponsors who bring you tonight's broadcast. The South Dakota National Guard, the Market at Tuscany Square, the South Dakota National Guard, and Monument Health, the official sports training partner, athletics partner of Cavalier Athletics. Well, we're going to have a special showcase for the seniors for all the fall sports coming up a week from Wednesday. Excited to bring that to you. It'll be 2 o'clock when we come on the air. Looking at next week's programming notes, we'll only have one game, but what a big game it'll be. It'll be the football first-round playoff game, and if projections hold the form, it'll be a huge rematch between St. Thomas More and Hot Springs last Friday right here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. You saw the Cavaliers defeat the Bison 27-0 at Woodward Field to clinch at least a share at a Black Hills Conference title. Here comes a double reverse. Negebauer has it to 40, the 30, the 25, and he's tackled beyond the 20-yard line. What a nifty double reverse, and again, the outside, the hash mark blocking downfield. This is a new unveiling of the Cavaliers' outside blocking scheme, and it definitely produced results right there. Don't be surprised if we don't see that play in the playoffs the next couple of weeks. Cavaliers are in the gun. Triplets to the top. Sales split to the bottom. Back to throw is the commander, Noah Wald, on the run. Decides to keep it himself. He's being pressured, pushed, and he's tackled out of bounds near the 10-yard line. St. Thomas More rolling, and rolling some more. Trying to pick up six shutouts in a row. Last year when the Cavs had 5 shutouts in a row to close out the regular season. That set the school record. They're about ready. They're hoping to break it tonight, and they just might. Back to throw, Noah Wald. Wald gonna keep it, runs ahead, now cuts it inside, dives forward. He's close to a first down. It all depends on the spot. Noah Wald showing his mobility. He has the speed, but many times Noah will look for a player to give the ball to. And that usually pays off in a big way. It'll be first down and 10 now, first and goal rather at the 6. Cavs break the huddle, trying to get a 4-score lead. Wald in the gun. Flanked over his left shoulder by senior running back Josh Elder. Back to throw, Noah. Noah throws it. It's intercepted. Picked off by the Gold Diggers at the goal line. And that's a short return of 3 yards. And Noah Wald threw the ball directly to one of the linebackers for Lee Deadwood. So give Lee Deadwood credit. They turned the Cavaliers away. Cavaliers that time just Noah Wald, we had a good view of it right here in our booth. He just threw the ball where he expected St. Thomas More to have a receiver, but he threw it directly to Lee Deadwood, and give credit to Lee Deadwood. Couldn't tell the player who made the pick because, again, the gold numbers against the white road top jerseys are very hard to pick up from a long distance. All right, just under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Enzo Stone, the quarterback, going to keep it himself. Runs ahead, picks up 3 yards, out to the 9. St. Thomas More commits their first turnover of the game. Earlier, if you're just joining us, the Gold Diggers on a muffed quarterback and running back exchange in the backfield committed a fumble. So both teams have committed 1 turnover apiece. We're inside of 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. We might not see another play before we change sides of the field. And I'm all for changing sides of the field. We'll get to see who has the ball for Lee Deadwood once this happens. We've got a whistle and a procedure penalty. A call against Lee Deadwood. That stops the clock with 4.3 ticks remaining here in the first quarter. STM 21, Lee Deadwood nothing. Clock will wind down, and that will probably do it, and it will. We have reached the end of the first quarter here at Cavalier Field on the campus of St. Thomas More High School. Our score, St. Thomas More 21, Lee Deadwood nothing. You're watching the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. Let's go ahead now and take a moment, check the world of baseball. Some huge games that will go a long ways to determining who will appear in this year's Fall Classic in the World Series coming up next week. Let's check Seattle, Game 5 of a 2-2 tied American League Championship Series. I don't like this score too much. Toronto Blue Jays 2 and my son Oliver's Seattle Mariners 1. The M's trying to avoid a home sweep at the hands of the American League East champion Toronto Blue Jays, the only Major League Baseball team in Canada. And just underway at Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the Dodgers and the Brewers. Shohei Ohtani is on the mound for the Dodgers. Los Angeles playing dominant baseball, and they are trying to win their second consecutive National League pennant tonight, trying to get a sweep of the NL Central champion Milwaukee Brewers. Nebraska Cornhuskers, they're also in action tonight. They're in Minneapolis taking on the Golden Gophers, and the score from Minnesota, no score between the Huskers and the Gophers. Nebraska has lost 5 straight to P.J. Fleck and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Here comes a throw near the goal line, and Max Speed broke up the pass, nearly had his second pick 6 of the season. It's so good now to see the game up close. We have been far removed from the proceedings of the first quarter. We will see the action so much more vividly now for the benefit of all of you watching at home, now that the game is on the north side of the field where the press box is. Our press box here at Cavalier Field is elevated. That's the good news, but it's at the 23-yard line. We don't see a lot very clearly on the other side of the field. Here comes a run up the middle, gain of 3 yards. That'll bring up 4th down and 5, and here comes the punting unit for Lee Deadwood's head coach, Michael Bernard. Punter stands about a yard into the lead Deadwood end zone. Here comes the punt, and it's a good one. Fair catch called for and made by Kane McLeod. So I called Kane McLeod on his amazing 70-yard kickoff return, the Swiss Army knife. Probably called him that more than once. He's earned that nickname, and I mean earned that nickname, or as John Houseman used to say in the Smith Barney commercials back in the day, he's earned the title because he is so multifaceted in his game. There is nothing Kane McLeod can't do well. He can throw it, run it, tackle, return kicks for touchdowns. He's done that 3 times. He's the consummate team player. He's the Swiss Army knife, Kane McLeod, and yes, he's earned it. Here we go, running to his left-hand side. Running hard is Josh Elder, and Elder with a good carry. Or check that, it's a different Cavalier that's out there. Gonna have to reach for the roster here as Cavs starting to work some reserves in. And one of the big goals of week 8 of the season, candidly, is to stay healthy. And the Cavaliers likely gonna try to rotate some guys in. They're giving Graydon Juvie a personal bye week this week so he can get all healed up, rested up. Here we go, back to throw. Wald over the middle, and the ball is incomplete. Speed had it in his hands, just couldn't hang on. It was Quan Harper, by the way, that had the 12-yard run a moment ago. Quan's really had a good season. He was forced to step in to the linebacking core mid-season when Josh Elder had the lower body injury, and Joe Giacometto had a broken hand. 2nd down and 10 now for the Cavs. In motion, the tight end Max Speed. Wald runs, slips, falls, keeps going. He's got a 1st down and more inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Well, I think Noah expected to be tackled and tripped, but he just kept on going, and that moves the chains. The Commander rolling downfield as the Cavs try to get a 4-score advantage. They had a golden chance against the Gold Diggers to get a 4-touchdown lead earlier, but Noah Wald threw an interception inside the 5-yard line. Cavs are on the move. 10:15 to go here in the first half. Handoff goes to Elder. He's at the 25, good blocking. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10-5, touchdown! Josh Elder with a 19-yard touchdown run to go along with his 24-yard touchdown run, gives the Cavs a 20-7 lead. STM with a pair of touchdown runs by Josh Elder, a touchdown pass from Noah Wald to Max Speed, and a 70-yard punt return by Kane McLeod, accounting for a 27-0 scoring summary here over lead Deadwood. Now here comes the PAT kick from Stamper. Snap is back, ball down, kick is up, and it is good. Carter Stamper makes it 28-0 Cavaliers. How about the Cavs here on homecoming? They have a real shot, a very good shot. One could dare call it a probability right now of finishing 8-0 to finish the regular season. So I have only had a chance to broadcast 3 other teams with perfect regular seasons. I remember these 3 teams very well. The Oakley Plainsmen in the Kansas Class 2A, 1A level, coached by state champion coach Randall Rath in 2005, and again, back-to-back perfect regular seasons, 2006. And also, I remember when when the Lovell Bulldogs from the Bighorn Basin in northwest Wyoming in Class 2A had a perfect regular season and made it all the way to War Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Wyoming in Laramie. And they lost a tough one in the final 2 minutes in the state title game that year. And that was 2012 season. And the ball is kicked into the end zone. Cavaliers will set up another touchback. So this is special for me. I can't deny it. I love the Cavs to be able to be around a fourth perfect regular season is really remarkable. St. Thomas More this season, they only have one win over a team with a winning record, but they have been dominant against every team they have played, with the exception of the Sioux Valley game where it was 14-14 tie on opening night going into the fourth quarter. There's a good tackle up front there by Brody Lee. Lee Deadwood trying to avoid an 0-8 season, but don't let the record fool you. They have been in some games. They had a golden chance to get a signature win over Mobridge Pollock. They also lost 19-18 to Custer. 2nd down and 7. Man goes in motion for Lee Deadwood. 4 wide. And we've got a whistle, and now the play is stopped, and we have a procedural penalty against Lee Deadwood. Enzo Stone, frustrated, talking to his coach here in front of us on the near sideline. So Enzo, it's not a name you see every day, but if you've seen Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece, The Godfather, Enzo is the florist that helps protect Don Corleone from the sinister hitmen at the hospital, if you've seen that movie. Running to his left is Lee Deadwood Zaid Seidman. He's tackled for a loss of 3. So I still remember that in that movie, and they sure thanked Enzo. He stood outside and was told to stand a certain way to represent a security guard, which he was not. He was just a friend of the Godfather bringing flowers that night. Here we go, 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. There's an inside screen. Ball taken on the run. Gain of about 8 yards. Well designed and well executed screenplay as Cannon Rogers, that's a great name, senior for Lee Deadwood, picks up good yardage, but it will still be 4th down. And Lee Deadwood will have to punt it away again. Lee Deadwood, every drive tonight has either resulted in a punt or a fumble. Here comes a punt for Lee Deadwood. It's a good punt. Fair catch called for and made by Ryan Negebauer. 7:53 to go here in the second quarter. Cavaliers, number 2 in the state. The general consensus is that St. Thomas More and Elk Point Jefferson from north of Sioux City, right along the highway of Interstate 29. That's where the field is. You may remember the Cavs played at Elk Point Jefferson in the playoffs back in 2021 in the first round. Here we go. 1st down and 10. Cavs go 4 wide. Wald throws a pass, and it's dropped by Max Speed. Check that. That was Broden Sales who could not bring in the catch. Speed was split to the near side on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up. Let's see if we can get a score from Seattle. Have the Mariners been able to rally against the Blue Jays? Yes, they have. It's a 2-2 tie. Cal Raleigh, who hit 60 home runs this year for Seattle, a club record, ties the game to make it 2-2. Running to his left is STM's Josh Elder. Elder has really had a good season. He definitely lost a couple games due to injury early, but when Josh Elder has been out there, the tackling in the middle of the defense has been superlative, and the power running dimension of Josh Elder, I can't tell you how big that's going to be, folks, when we get to those cold weather games in the next 3 weeks trying to reach the dome. Back to throw Wald. He has all day to throw. Wald almost falls down, keeps his balance, keeps his eyes downfield, stops. He has a back speed wide open. He makes the catch at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. Well, Lee Deadwood could not cover every receiver for St. Thomas More for 20 seconds. No team could do that. And with all that time, that's really a touchdown that belongs to Noah Wald for his patience, his ability to wait for someone to come open and then deliver with perfect accuracy. Max speed now with his second touchdown catch of the night. Noah Wald with a touchdown pass. And for St. Thomas More, they have a 34-0 lead. And we're lining up for the PAT kick momentarily. 34-0 Cavaliers. Stamper set to try the PAT kick. Wow, how about these Cavs? And give credit to the offensive line for STM. They gave Noah Wald all day to throw. And Max may never be that wide open ever again in his career. There was no one within 20 yards of max speed on that play. And really, when he took off down the field, there was no one within 20 yards of him either. Here comes the PAT kick. Ball down, kick is up, and it is good. St. Thomas More 35. Lead Deadwood nothing. The Cavaliers rolling here on homecoming. Still 6:51 to go. We have seen the situation play out a couple of times this season where St. Thomas More, if they can get a lead of 50 points or more at halftime, the game is over. Or if they can get the lead by 50 points or more in the second half, the game is over. I certainly would be surprised if the Cavs allowed themselves to get to 50 points before halftime in this game, because we have homecoming at halftime, and it would feel really strange to have the homecoming festivities while we're shaking hands with Lee Deadwood. And so don't expect the Cavaliers to go for 50 points before we reach the intermission. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Braden Strain. Want to thank Brandon Boyum for joining us last night on our Lady Cavs volleyball straight set victory over Custer. It was great having Brandon along with us. Here comes a long kick. The ball goes into the end zone, and the Cavaliers will again watch Lee Deadwood set up with a touchback, first down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Well, there's a lot of big games in the National Football League Sunday, none bigger than my Los Angeles Chargers against the 5-1 Indianapolis Colts. We got a Chiefs-Raiders game on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. The Gold Diggers break the huddle, spread out 4 wide. Man goes in motion. Enzo Stone just throws it into the turf, avoids the grounding penalty, there was a would-be receiver in the area. That was sophomore whiteout Levi Hall. And now it'll be 2nd down and 10. St. Thomas More trying to post a 6th consecutive shutout. And if he can do that, if the Cavs can do that, they will make STM history as a defense in Coach Craig Watney's 50th season of coaching football. Here's a pass that's incomplete. It's 3rd down and 10. Cavs have yielded a 1st down tonight. Early in the game, there was a crossing pattern completed from Enzo Stone to Blake Jansen. And that was the only 1st down so far tonight for Lee Deadwood. Gold Diggers go 4 wide. Going in motion, it's Levi Hall. Hall's going to take the handoff on an RPO, run forward, and pick up 4, maybe 5 yards. He might have coughed the ball up at the end of that run. Did he fumble? The Cavs say that it's a fumble, and it is. The Cavs take over for the first time tonight with a short field. 1st down and 10 Cavaliers with the ball at the Lee Deadwood 35-yard line. Couldn't tell who made the tackle and recovered the ball, the fumble recovery, but it's a big play nonetheless for the Cavs. They now have it 1st down and 10 at the 24-yard line for Lee Deadwood. In the game at quarterback, I believe that's still Noah Wald. We may have some new reserves in there. Remember, the Cavs don't want to score 50 before half on homecoming. There's a pass, and it's caught for Max Speed. That's a hat trick in his final regular season game as a Cavalier. Noah Wald with a 24-yard strike to a wide open Max Speed, and the Cavs have a 41-0 lead over Lee Deadwood. Wow. Max Speed appeared to get open. That was either broken coverage or something else. Now the Cavs will line up and try a PAT, point after. Here comes Stamper. The kick is up, it's nearly blocked, and it's good. 42-0 Cavaliers on homecoming. St. Thomas More in complete control. Coach Hagan, so proud of his guys. I think it's safe to say the Cavaliers are ready for the playoffs on Thursday night against, we think, a rematch against Hot Springs. The downside of playing Hot Springs, for the record, it's just my opinion, but I'll throw it out there. The downside is Hot Springs hits so hard, and you just don't want any Cavalier player to get injured to start the playoffs. You need every Cavalier you can have healthy, and I kind of wish the Cavs were playing a team that wasn't nearly as well coached or as physical as an outstanding Ben Kramer coached Bison team that hung pretty tough with the Cavs in last Friday's 27-0 victory by STM. 6:20 to go in the first half. Cavs rolling right now against Lee Deadwood. They cannot get a higher seed than number 3 unless there is some help that we don't see coming from some of the other games. Comes a long kick, ball handled at the goal line. Our first kick return of the night. Running hard with it is Jansen, and what a great return by Blake Jansen. He runs it all the way out to the 30-yard line, a net of 30 yards. He made the catch at the goal line and raced through the first wedge and the second wave of Cavs coverage team members to give pretty good starting field position, all things considered, to lead Deadwood, who has it first down and 10 at their own 29. 6:13 to go in the first half. Cavs appear to be on their way to a relatively early TKO tonight, on their way towards what they expect to be an 8-0 perfect regular season and a top 3 finish. The Cavaliers, if they win tonight, will not have to worry about being on the same side of the bracket with number 1 Elk Point Jefferson. That's big because you want to get to the Dome. You want that experience, that thrill, and that opportunity. And not that the Cavs wouldn't beat Elk Point Jefferson in Elk Point, South Dakota. They very well might. But they just as soon be on a different side of the bracket. There's a run of 9 yards for lead Deadwood's running back on the play, senior Terrell Seaman. It'll be 3rd down and let's call it a long 2. Gold Diggers didn't get a very favorable spot at the end of that run. And here we go, 5:08 to play. Timeout, lead Deadwood. This is an opportunity, a good one for lead Deadwood to try to get their second first down of the season. Of the game. Okay. They really want to get that first down here. And for lead Deadwood, they're building something. The Gold Diggers with the word Diggers on the side of their helmet. They have a proud tradition. Former lead player, my good friend Jay Williams, who is one of the co-hosts along with Paul James of the Eagle Country Wake Up Show at 95.9, 96.3 Eagle Country. He played for lead, and from what it sounds like, back when the Homestake Mine was in its all of its glory, they had some great miners kids playing some football up in lead. Central City also represented by lead Deadwood. Let's not forget the great community of Central City. Any of you watching from Central City, we salute you. Here we go, 3rd down and 1. Triangular backfield. Here's a bad snap in the Wildcat, and that's going to be a big loss. Brody Willits will touch the downed Gold Digger, and that'll set up yet another punt. So they had it 3rd and 2. They decided to run a very original inverted pyramid formation, and all that did was lose 8-9 yards. Here comes the punt for lead Deadwood. Punt is away. It's a spinner taken on a fair catch. Hop by Kane McLeod back at the 34-yard line. Cavs will have it 1st down and 10 at their own 34. Well, I get sentimental about football. I love it so much, and there's nothing quite like the purity and the Americana of the high school edition of the game. There's something really special about homecoming and the game of football. My first memories were when I was in high school. We had what was called a car caravan, and that was when all of us St. Thomas More students and fans, we gathered in the Creighton Prep parking lot, and we would drive across town to where the game was played. And we didn't have a home field. We won 5 state championships in a row without a home field. Think about that for a moment. That's how great our dynasty was. 5 straight state titles, and we didn't even have a home field. When we had a home game, we just rented another field in town, so whatever was open. Here we go, 2nd down and 8. No, I did not play on those teams. I was in the stands going crazy. That's where my passion for high school football really began. Here we go, 2nd down and 8. In the gun, it's Noah Wald. Wald throws a flare-out pass complete to Max Speed. He's at the 35, and he's escorted out of bounds in front of the Gold Diggers bench at about the 40. Clock stops at 3:43 to go. Now, here's the good news for the Cavaliers as far as making sure that we're going to have a halftime homecoming ceremony is if the Cavs score on this drive and kick an extra point, it will still be 49-0, and we're guaranteed to start the second half and have a halftime show. So here we go. 3:43 to play. Wald in the gun. Going to give the ball to Elder, and Elder is dropped. I don't think that's Elder. Nope, that's Quan Harper. So I think Elder's night is through, and a lot of these Cavaliers are just, nope, actually that's not true. Elder's coming back out there. But for special teams purposes, here we go. Elder is the long snapper, by the way. And I want to mention this. Elder was the player with the scoop and score on the blocked punt last week. And there's a roughing the kicker penalty against Lee Deadwood. And that's going to be an automatic 1st down for STM, as the punter had his legs taken out from under him, and that was a really slow-moving rush towards the punter, but it resulted in a roughing the punter penalty, roughing the kicker penalty, and the Cavs will keep the ball after Lee Deadwood, for the first time tonight, was able to force a punting situation. The officials are now having a really long conversation. I think they might be debating, was that roughing the kicker or running into the kicker? If it's running into the kicker, it's not an automatic 1st down. If it's roughing, it is. It's a pretty important ruling. I don't think the officials are talking about whether or not the United States is going to give Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. But this is a long conversation. 3:01 to go in the first half. St. Thomas More 42, Lee Deadwood nothing. And here comes the official ruling. Illegal touching, roughing the kicker against Lee Deadwood, and we will move the ball towards midfield. And St. Thomas More, I think, will have it 1st down and 10 with 3 minutes and 1 second to go. This has taken a long time. So here we go, illegal touching. And it is a 1st down. So the Cavs are going to be the beneficiaries of a zealous punt block attempt that came up empty for Lee Deadwood. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Technical Director Braden Strain. So glad to have all of you with us this evening. This is homecoming for St. Thomas More High School. Nothing like homecoming. It's really special. You've got so many fun things going on. And how about this week, homecoming week for Coach Phillipson's Lady Cavs? They won in 5 sets at Hill City in a huge game in the Black Hills Conference Tuesday night. And then they swept Custer with the 2nd and 3rd sets going 26-24 to move to within a game of winning a share of the, clinching at least a share of the Black Hills Conference title. Harper runs to the right side. STM well on their way to clinching an outright Black Hills Conference championship tonight. They clinched a share of the title, beating previously undefeated in the conference Hot Springs 27-0 on the road at Woodward Field. That was really the championship game, essentially. But officially, you want to clinch a title, clinch a perfect regular season. That's what the Cavs are on their way to doing. Here we go. Our handoff goes to Harper. He gets tackled in the open field by Garrett Rantapah. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 12. We're nearing the 2-minute warning. Last year, the Cavs tied Rapid City Christian at 4-0 in the conference standings. And going back to 2022, the Cavs were they won the Black Hills Conference title outright that year. Who could forget that amazing 20-10 win over Sturgis Brown? Here comes a quarterback keeper by Wald. He's loose. He's at the 30, the 20, and he's tackled at the 17-yard line by Peyton Percy. And the Cavaliers have the ball 1st down and 10 at the Gold Diggers 18, and give credit to Peyton Percy for Lee Deadwood. He recorded a touchdown saving tackle. And the Cavs now with the ball 1st down and 10 at the Lee Deadwood 16-yard line. See if we've got an update from Seattle. And the Mariners have done it. Grand slam home run for the Seattle Mariners. Wow. The Mariners walk it off, and there's a touchdown for St. Thomas More. Xander Zanstra, the freshman sensation, with a 16-yard score, and the Cavaliers have a 48-0 lead. What a great player Xander is. I'm already telling college coaches about Xander Zanstra. That's how highly I think of Xander. 1:11 to go in the 4th quarter. St. Thomas More 48, Lee Deadwood 0. Cavs maxing out the scoreboard without turning the halftime into a end of game situation here at home for homecoming. There's a kick by Stamper. It's good. And the Cavs have a 49-0 lead with 1:11 to go. How about the Cavs? Just absolutely dominant. They will win the Black Hills Conference title outright tonight, and they will celebrate a perfect regular season. And if the Cavs for the next minute 11 and maybe a little bit more into the second half can keep Lee Deadwood from scoring, they will set a record, a St. Thomas More record of 6 straight shutouts, and we think that might be close to a state record for consecutive shutouts in South Dakota high school football history. It would be really nice to know that information, but I don't know of access to a comprehensive football record book. Wish I had one, because I'd look it up right now. So here we go. Stamper set to kick right to left across your screen. Cavaliers closing in on a 4-0 perfect record in the Black Hills Conference and a 8-0 perfect season overall. Here comes a long kick. It's handled at the 10. Running to his right is Percy, and he is pushed out of bounds, jumps over the cheerleaders' platform there. I think that was Corey's platform, and there's a bunch of boos. The fans, the students didn't like that very much. I thought it was pretty impressive myself. 1:04 to go. Lee Deadwood trying to break a shutout streak here for STM that goes all the way back to August, when Mount Vernon Plankington on 4th and 2 had that extended sweep pitch out to the near sideline that broke a big long run down the sideline, and St. Thomas More has not given up a single point since. And how about this? Cavaliers 7 times this year, all in the first half of the season, I might add, did not give up touchdowns when their opponent had the ball inside their own 5. How about that? That is dominant defense, folks. Here we go. First down and 10. Penalty on the Cavaliers. Good field position for the Gold Diggers. Back to throw Enzo Stone. His pass is incomplete. McLeod was closer to that pass's final destination than the receiver on the play. That was Blake Jansen that was working downfield against Kane McLeod. We're inside a minute to play. Stay tuned to halftime. You don't want to miss the homecoming ceremonies. Regan Dewar will film the homecoming, and I'll turn things over to our public address announcer for the festivities. Here we go, back to throw. We've got a whistle, and the pink flags here in the month of October are on the field, and we have a motion penalty against Lee Deadwood. That stops the clock at 57.4 seconds to go. There will be better days ahead for Lee Deadwood, that's for sure. But this has not been the kind of night Lee Deadwood was hoping for when they traveled from 5,700 feet in elevation down to 3,700 feet elevation to take on the Cavaliers tonight. Cavs at a very high cruising altitude going for 8-0. Back to throw is Enzo Stone, but we have yet another penalty, a delay of game penalty against Lee Deadwood. And it's pretty hard to have a delay of game penalty when you're down 49-0, but it can happen. It's been that kind of night for the Gold Diggers. Clock is winding down, inside of 30 seconds to play. This may be the last play of the first half. Stone calls the count, runs to his left, looking to go downfield. Instead, throws it right into the clutches of Max Speed, who knocks it down. And there is a penalty flag down on the far side in front of the St. Thomas More sideline. I think it might be a hold against Lee Deadwood, but I'm not sure about that. 10.2 seconds to go. We are excited for homecoming festivities. Who will be the homecoming queen? Who will be the homecoming king? Last year it was Sloan Kessler and Declan Duffy. Who will it be this year? We will find out. I bet our technical director, Braden Strain, had a vote. I wonder if he's going to be the homecoming king. He'll be down there. Okay. Braden does not think it's him. He'd get my vote. How about that? There we go. No, 54-year-old sportscasters don't get a homecoming vote. Here we go. Second down at 10. The Gold Diggers break the huddle. Gold Diggers go 2 wide to both sides of the formation. In the gun, it's Enzo. Enzo going to hand off, running hard, getting good yardage. A gain of about 12 on the play, and the final play of the half is Percy. And did they stop the clock with 1 second left? I think they did. Yes, they did. We'll have one more play before we start the homecoming. Cavs players left the sideline. They thought it was halftime, but I think it was one of the coaches for Lee Deadwood that called the timeout. The last timeout remaining, I believe, for Lee Deadwood for one last play here in the second quarter, the first half. So the Cavs wanting to keep that shutout streak going. Going to likely have a Hail Mary to contend with. Cavs look like they're going to rush three. Stone back to throw. It's an inside pass. It's caught, and there's an open field tackle by Josh Elder, and that'll do it for the first half. St. Thomas More 49. Lead Deadwood nothing, and now it's time for homecoming 2025. Giving a quick scoring summary. St. Thomas More with a touchdown run from Josh Elder, 24 yards. Got the scoring going. PAT was good. Noah Wald found Max Speed in double coverage for a touchdown. That made it 13-0. Then the Cavs got another point on the PAT. Then St. Thomas More with a touchdown pass from Wald to Speed. The third touchdown was actually a punt return for a score, the third of the season, by the Swiss Army knife, senior Kane McLeod. PAT was good. It was 21-0. Then Max Speed got wide open downfield. Got a second of 3 touchdown catches in the first half to make it 28-0. Then St. Thomas More had another touchdown run. Then they had a long touchdown run by Josh Elder. That made it 35-0 after the PAT kick. Then there was the endless drop back touchdown where Wald had about 20 seconds to throw, found a wide open Max Speed. That was a second touchdown catch of the night for Max Speed. Or third one. He scored, made it 42-0, and then the Cavs' final score of the half was a touchdown by freshman Xander Zanstra. It's 49-0 at the half. Now we turn it over to Ms. Vickers, our public address announcer, with the homecoming ceremonies, and Regan will give us the camera work here. There comes homecoming at Cavalier Field. Our score is St. Thomas More 49, lead Deadwood nothing. Enjoy the homecoming festivities. What an amazing homecoming ceremony. Congratulations to Miley Sebo, your homecoming queen. Cross Schmidt, your homecoming king. And Corey Ryder, the Cavalier, representing the spirit of the school. And just congratulations all the way around. What an amazing senior class we have at St. Thomas More. Just an amazing class. Really look forward to bringing you the fall sports Meet the Cavaliers coming up a week from Wednesday, and get to know some of these student athletes and students even better. Just what an amazing time here at St. Thomas More High School. It's just a magic time. And how about the little prince and the little princess from St. Elizabeth Seton School? Aren't they just adorable as the pictures are being taken? And this will be a moment that none of these seniors will ever forget, where they were and what it was like, and what an amazing night it was for homecoming 2025. And congrats again to Cross and Miley, the homecoming king and queen here in 2025. Well, we've got some we got the players, a bunch of kids on the field playing football, having fun, but we still have a game to finish. It's St. Thomas More 49, Lee Deadwood nothing. The Cavs, all they have to do is score one more time without giving up any points, and they will clinch an outright Black Hills Conference championship on their home field against Lee Deadwood. It could be a touchdown. It could be a long Carter Stamper field goal. One way or another, the Cavs, if they can continue to get a shutout, so far they have now gone 5 games plus 2 more quarters without giving up a single point to their opponents. Defense wins championships, and the Cavaliers' defense may be greatest defense that we've ever seen here at STM. 49-0. Cavaliers are on the field. Lee Deadwood, they're still huddled up. Their coach giving them instructions in the south end zone, maybe some motivational words. And this could be the very last couple of minutes some of the Lee Deadwood seniors are able to play. They are in all likelihood not going to qualify for the Class 11B football playoffs that start next Thursday. And for these seniors, for Lee Deadwood, they've worked hard. They've given their best to the game, no doubt. And they're the pride of Lawrence County, and we'll see if the Gold Diggers can go the distance here tonight. But all it takes for the Cavaliers to end the game is to get one score without giving up any scores by Lee Deadwood. St. Thomas More kind of stretching out. And Braden, you didn't get to fly your zone, but you were out. You got to take pictures. Okay, I got you. It's a little chilly out there. It's great to see everybody here. You can see some of the sisters of the most precious blood of Mary here. Great to see everybody. Oh, you're fine. It's all good. St. Thomas More getting loosened up. We've got a final score from Seattle, Washington. My son Oliver going crazy right now. he thinks an earthquake might have been started when Eugenio Suarez hit a game-winning grand slam in the bottom of the 8th inning after 60 home run man Cal Rowley hit a game-tying home run. This was off of relief pitcher Brendan Little for the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Mariners now retake the lead in the American League Championship Series, 3-2. The series shifts back to Toronto, Ontario, north of the border on Sunday night. And go Mariners. My son has been a diehard Mariners fan for over 10 years, and I know what it's like to see your favorite team go to the World Series. My San Diego Padres have done it twice, albeit many, many years ago. They did it twice, and love to see my son get that same thrill. And Mariners are one win away, but they do have to go on the road to get that win, and that's never easy to do when you go on the road for Game 6 and Game 7 of a best of 7 baseball series. But congratulations, Seattle rallies for 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th to pull out a win and prevent Toronto from getting a sweep in Games 3, 4, and 5 at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Let's go ahead and check on the other score in the Game 4 of the National League Championship Series in Southern California. It's the LA Dodgers 3, the Milwaukee Brewers nothing. The scoring for the Dodgers pitcher Shohei Ohtani helped out his own cause. Number 17 from Japan went deep in a solo shot in the bottom of the first, and then Tommy Edman and Teoscar Hernandez had RBIs as well. And let's check on that Nebraska score at the half, and a bit of a surprise. Minnesota leads Nebraska 7-6 at the intermission in Minneapolis. Go Big Red, the 25-ranked Huskers trying to get their first win in 6 years against Minnesota. Last time the Huskers defeated the Golden Gophers was when Scott Frost was the head coach. So it's 49-0. Cavaliers lead Deadwood. We're getting closer to starting the second half, and man, what a dominant performance. 3 touchdown grabs tonight from Max Speed in his final regular season home game. Stay tuned after tonight's game. We're going to hopefully get a chance to talk to head coach Austin Hagen. Coach Hagen looking to win his second consecutive and first outright Black Hills Conference title. Of course, last year the Cavs could not win the conference title outright because the state of South Dakota never scheduled St. Thomas More to play Rapid City Christian in football. I still don't know how that happened. But anyway, Cavs won the tiebreaker and they won the trophy, but it was technically a co-champion situation. At the Cavs, in this decade, they won an outright conference title in 2020. They shared the conference title in 2021 with both Sturgis Brown and Spearfish. Then they won the outright title in 2022, went 4-5 in 2023. Then the Cavaliers shared the conference title with Christian last year, and now they are one score away from winning the outright Black Hills Conference title for 2025 tonight. And it's going to be a pretty special Special feeling for the Cavs on homecoming night in their regular season finale to earn a perfect regular season finish and hoist another Black Hills Conference title and keep the Black Hills Conference traveling trophy right here at home in the STM trophy case. Cavaliers, we mentioned this in our Security First Bank pregame show, looking as though they will be the number 3 seed when the state of South Dakota announces the brackets later tonight or tomorrow. Cavs will be at home for sure in the first round, most likely hosting Hot Springs in a rematch from a game we had for you last week. So if you recall, the coin toss was won by Lee Deadwood. They elected to defer, so now they will start on offense as the ball is kicked down the field and through the end zone by the strong-footed Carter Stamper, who drilled a 49-yard field goal earlier this season against Bellefouche. So here comes Lee Deadwood set to operate. Quarterback Enzo Stone at the controls. Enzo, a sophomore. We'll see a lot of this talented quarterback as the next couple of years play out, we expect. Assuming St. Thomas More keeps playing Lee Deadwood. We hope they do. Here we go. Run goes up the middle. Gain of about 2 yards out to the 24-yard line. When St. Thomas More played at Custer about a month ago, that was the last stop St. Thomas More had yet to make since the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network has been covering Cavalier football. And we've been everywhere, as the country singer Hank Snow used to sing about when he said, man, he's been everywhere, and then rattled all those town names really fast. There's a double reverse trick play. Will it work? It skips down. I think the ball is loose. It's picked up. Well, that was a dramatic trick play. I bet from the back page of Coach Michael Benad's playbook, all it did was lose yards, but it did more than that. It gave us a thrill. That was the longest back and forth play you may ever see at the high school level. And if only the player throwing back could have made the play. Interesting, with a long pass that would have been to the open man. That could have been very interesting indeed. There's a timeout for Lee Deadwood. You better believe Lee Deadwood would love to get on the bus knowing they snapped St. Thomas More's undefeated streak to close out the year. But things will get harder after the trick play was flashed a moment ago as Coach Nowotny is regrouping with his defense. And let's be candid. The Cavs did not stay at home on that play, and I'm sure Coach Nowotny saw what we all saw there, and that's the kind of mistake that could really cost you in a close playoff game in the next few weeks. Cavaliers cannot afford to get away from what has led them to where they are right now. Here we go. It's 3rd down and 15. Enzo Stone back to throw. He throws over the middle, and it's nearly intercepted. Pass was tipped, and on the play for St. Thomas More in the vicinity, but unable to make a pick, was Cooper Sales. So here comes a punt. Cavs, a touchdown away from a perfect season and an outright Black Hills Conference title. They can clinch the game right here on another punt return touchdown for a score. Here comes a high kick. It will be fair caught by Ryan Negebauer at the 45-yard line. So the Cavs take over with the short field in plus territory. First down and 10 at the Lee Deadwood 45. And the Cavaliers are getting really close to celebrating a big win on homecoming. If you're just joining us, the homecoming king and queen this year, Cross Schmidt and Miley Sebo. And Corey Ryder won the Cavalier Spirit Award. Here we go, first down and 10. Corey does a great job on the Black Hills Conference runner-up cheer team. Running to the left is Josh Elder. Elder running hard, has a good gain of about 15. He's tugged out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 30-yard line of Gold Digger territory. St. Thomas More 27 yards away from a clinching score. Cavs were able to get a clinching score over Custer with 5:31 remaining in the third quarter. They also got a clinching touchdown over Belle Fourche a couple of weeks ago. Here comes a run up the middle. Quan Harper running hard. Gets about 7 yards to the 22. STM able to win at halftime in Pine Ridge, down at Pine Ridge against Lakota Tech. St. Thomas More trying to get their fourth second half or halftime clinching victory out of 8 games this season. Wow. That might be a school record too. Here comes a flare out pass to Negebauer, and he drops it. That was right in Ryan's hand. The commander hit him where he needed to, and Ryan just, I don't know if he lost the ball in the lights or the pass just came up on him too fast. Now it's third down and 5. Ryan Negebauer, he appeared to see the ball. He just didn't get his hands on it. Third down and 4. 7:18 and counting. Fast moving, continuous clock here in the third quarter. 2 men in the backfield for the Cavaliers. Handoff. A quick pitch goes to Elder. He's at the 10, the 7, and a flag is down, and that might be a holding penalty against the Cavs. If it is, that'll wipe out what was a first down carry for STM, unless it's ruled to be a spot foul after the first down was recorded. But I think this is going to be a costly holding penalty on the Cavs. I guess as costly as it can be when you're up 49-0 and trying to secure a shutout. Officials talking things over. And it will be holding against St. Thomas More. Oh, man. So Ryan Negebauer, he dropped a flare-out pass a play ago, and now the Cavs commit a holding penalty. You know, it's hard to stay focused, and they also gave up, well, he didn't give up the play, but had it been executed properly, they might have given up a huge play on that misdirection full across the field pass where nobody was home on their assignment. But the Cavs just don't look like the Cavs here in the third quarter. Comes a handoff to the running back for STM. That's going to be Kane McLeod, and McLeod picks up a first down, runs down inside the 10. So now with 5:33 and counting, Cavs are getting really close to clinching the game. Lee Deadwood can take some pride of knowing that they lasted longer against STM than Custer did, because Custer lost to STM with 5:31 to go in the third quarter. The score now is 49-0 with 5 minutes to go in the third. Handoff goes to McLeod. McLeod running hard, refuses to go down, and he's finally tackled after a gain of maybe 2 ahead to the 6-yard line. STM still 1 play away from clinching a perfect season, regular season, and a 4-0 finish and an outright conference title. And now the fans are chanting Holy Night. How about that? That's special. Here we go. 2 men in the backfield. I've never heard it sung outside of Christmas before. Here comes a handoff across the formation to Elder, and there is an offsides penalty against Lee Deadwood. And that will push the ball even closer towards the goal line. 2nd down and goal to go from the 5. Cavaliers with a chance to clinch the title in the perfect regular season and record a school record 6 consecutive shutouts here. Handoff to Elder. He will barrel towards the goal line and score! The Cavaliers have a perfect regular season in the books. St. Thomas More 55, Lee Deadwood nothing. The game is over with 3:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Cavs will shake hands with the great young men who made the drive down from Lee Deadwood in Central City tonight. And the Cavaliers on homecoming celebrate a triumph 55-0. They are your outright Black Hills Conference champions for the 3rd time in 6 seasons this decade. And they are Black Hills Conference champions for the 5th time in 6 years when you count the titles they earned a share of. And the Cavs have now won, get this, 12 Black Hills Conference titles in 13 years. And man, does this one feel good. And the Cavaliers, wow, a school record 6 consecutive shutouts against their competition since they visited Chamberlain back on the first Friday in September. What a fun journey it's been. What a ride. What an adventure. The Cavs invite the Gold Diggers to join them in midfield for prayer, and Max Speed will lead the prayer as he always does. What a great leader and prayer warrior Max is. And we're going to just take it in as Max leads the prayer. And we give glory tonight to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This is the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. All right, and now the Cavaliers will gather around. And how about Craig Nowotny, our great defensive coordinator? He gets a nice pat on the back from Activities Director Ryan Messick a moment ago. Coach Nowotny shaking hands with his longtime fellow defensive coach, Joe Gutierrez, Coach G. And I'm telling you, 6 straight shutouts is amazing. It may be a state record. We will try to find out if it is. And listen to the round of applause. 6 consecutive shutouts, 8-0, outright Black Hills Conference title. And Man, this feels great. What an achievement. And how about these seniors? 16 seniors strong. And Coach is speaking to his team. And could you go get Coach Regan? I think he'll make it up here, but I never know for sure. Coach Austin Hagen's going to join us for our post-game show, we hope, as the Cavaliers celebrate with the students on homecoming. A lot of the parents are gathered around. What a family we have. A school family, a football family. The Cavaliers are a perfect team in 2025, and I got to say it, I've been blessed to be around now 4 perfect regular seasons as a high school football broadcaster, and they're really special. And here's why I especially don't take these perfect seasons for granted. Every year I went to high school, my high school team, Creighton Prep, the Creighton Prep Junior Blue Jays, Junior Jays, won state in Class A in Nebraska, but in none of those 4 years when my high school won state did we have a perfect regular season. In fact, one year we lost 2 games. So it's a very special thing to go the distance, 8-0, and this Cavalier team has done it, and they've earned a top 3 seed, and we will see the Cavs try to go to the Dome, and we believe that they can do it, and we can't wait to follow the Cavaliers every step of the way, starting Thursday night when the Cavaliers will host. We think the Hot Springs Bison will be on the air with you at 5:40, and we will be live at kickoff Thursday night to start the playoffs on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Let's see if we can get Coach to come up. I think he's just, hopefully we can get him. If you could wave at him, Regan. And I think we've got Coach joining us. Let's go ahead and get the headset ready too, make sure we're untangled. That's always the hardest part, isn't it, Regan? So Regan will try to get the headset loose. So we're going to talk to Coach as he's getting a handshake from Principal Hofer, Assistant Principal Hofer. I think it's Principal Hofer. And here we go. We're going to talk to, let's see if we can we pick up that case? I don't want Coach to trip there. I'm sorry. Things kind of laying there. There we go. Going to wait for Coach Hagen to come on up. Here he comes. And we have Coach Austin Hagen with us. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
What an achievement for this team.
Yeah, just so proud of these guys. We wanted to come out. We felt like we haven't had that game where we just came out, hit on all rhythms and all phases, and I think we did that tonight, and that's our standard, and we don't want to go backwards. Really proud with, some of the new stuff we installed this week.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, and the way that looked and just the way they executed. The boys played really hard, and just proud of them.
Well, this team is always evolving, always challenging itself to get better. And, sometimes it seems like the battle is you against you.
Yep.
And that is not an easy battle.
No, it's not. And we just want to compete at a high level, and the boys know that. And we want to peak at the right time. So we want to make sure that we're dotting every I, crossing every T, everything that we can control, do the best to the best of our abilities. And I think we did that pretty well tonight.
I'm going to roll through a list here. Four victories where the game did not even make it 48 minutes. 6 consecutive shutouts, a school record. Let's give Coach Nowotny, Coach G, and your defensive coaching staff the recognition right now that they deserve.
Absolutely. I always say that they're the best in the business, and it's on display every Friday night. The way they get these guys to fly around the field while maintaining their job and executing their assignment at a high level. They're the best in the business. So proud of that defensive unit for the way they've played all season long. And that's kind of what we talked about, in the post-game huddle down there. we kind of went back to goals that we had on the season. We wanted to go undefeated against the East River teams.
You
in
did
the regular
that.
season, did that. We wanted to win the Black Hills Conference Championship outright. We did that. We wanted to host a playoff. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
We wanted to break the school shutout record. We did that. So you start looking at those goals,
Yeah.
and I know you go all the way back to fall camp and how these guys were talking about it, and they truly believe it, and they believe in each other, and that's just a great combination.
And now, I don't know about you, but it almost feels like I kind of feel on this homecoming night is a sense of relief. We've got a pretty healthy team, and now in front of us is going to be a bracket when we wake up tomorrow morning, and that trip to the Dome is 3 wins away.
3 wins away. The road to the Dome goes through Rapid City. We firmly believe that. That's our plan. That's our goal, and now we just got to get better, take it one game at a time, and play at a high level. This
Cavalier faithful, I'm looking out on the field in the stands, the Cavs crazies as you call them. There's nobody better. We had a tremendous amount of people watching tonight. Man, what do you want to say to these fans that right now have to be just euphoric in terms of the pride? There really has no bounds for this team.
Yeah, I go back to the family. It is one big family. We came out at halftime, and there's kids all over the football field playing. I absolutely love to see that.
I love that.
Love to see that.
I didn't want them to leave.
No,
I was like, let's just let them play some more.
Yeah, just kids doing what kids do, and playing football out on the football field under the lights. They can't beat it. I'm sure it's a highlight for a ton of them. But yeah, just everybody tuning in and the support. Within our program. Just so blessed, so thankful.
Yeah.
We love all the support. We love you guys. It's felt every single week in everything that we do, and we're just happy we could, represent what this family looks like a little bit.
Well, I feel like this 8-0 season was forged out of the crucible of roaring back and building after a tough start a year ago. And we know what our standard is. We know what's out there. We remember last year. I mean, something's going to have to give. It's going to be to a whole nother level, I think, on the field intensity-wise these next couple weeks. But I know your guys are ready. I know they want this too.
Absolutely. They're self-starters. They're self-motivated. Like I said, they've had this, since the clock hit zero in Winter, South Dakota last year of where they wanted to be, and they did all the necessary things to get to that point in the off season. Had a great summer, those guys working out as well. That just carried on from the winter workouts in the weight room, and just can't say it enough how proud I am of these guys, how selfless they are, just the leaders that we have. I always get asked, well, who's your leaders? And I said, we got a ton of them.
We got a lot of them.
Where do you want me to start? And they truly care for one another. So it's just something to see that goes beyond football. It's just a blessing to be able to watch it happen.
Well, I want to personally congratulate you on your 20th win as head coach of the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. 20 is pretty good for 3 years.
Yeah,
way to go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach, congrats. Enjoy this one. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Thursday.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
You bet. Thank you. That's head coach Austin Hagan. St. Thomas More wins tonight 55-0 over lead Deadwood. And what a homecoming night it was. Cross and Miley, they are your homecoming king and queen. Corey Ryder, the Cavalier, representing the School Spirit Award. And how about Dr. Julie Tipton, our superintendent? She does just amazing work as the leader of our Rapid City Catholic school system. This is a family together in Christ. This is a high school that I can't even put into words how proud I am to be associated with St. Thomas More High School. And it's a special night to have a perfect season. Could you zero in on those seniors? This is their last regular season home game, taking a picture over here. We love you guys. Wow, just pictures that will last forever. Pictures of greatness. I think that might be our defense that set the record for most shutouts, not to mention consecutive shutouts in school history. And here we go. We got Cross and Miley with their king and homecoming king and queen outfits. We got some of the homecoming court members out there. I see a bunch of the student athletes. There's Rachel Hyde, the outstanding co-captain of the Final Four Lady Cavs soccer team, and yeah, of course Miley, a big part of the soccer team. Just so much fun to see what we have going on here at STM this year. Well, the Cavaliers get it done, 8-0. The road to the Dome. You just heard from Coach. Goes through Rapid City. We're not sure of that, though, exactly, because Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central, in between the communities of Mitchell and Huron, may very well get the 2 seed when the brackets are announced. But they have to win 2 games to get there, and that's not easily done. STM could very well be at home all 3 rounds of the postseason. They will not be on the same side of the bracket as number 1 ranked Elk Point Jefferson. Cavaliers will finish the regular season 8-0. They will be number 2 in the state of South Dakota. Hey, Grandpa Wald, we love you, buddy. And I'll tell you, we are going to just sit back, wait for the brackets to come out, maybe do a little bit of fun analysis. And this is the time of year. I love preparing for playoff games. The level of preparation goes up about 8 notches for me. And the game's intensity level goes to a whole nother place. What a win. What a season. What an achievement. The Cavaliers, by the way, get this, folks. The Cavaliers have now won 16 out of their last 17 football games. Let that sink in a moment. Going back to a home win over Chamberlain last year in the Sunshine after a tough 0-2 start, the Cavaliers have won 16 out of 17 games. I'll say it one more time. 16 wins out of 17 games. Cavs are trying to go to the Dome. We will have every game for you with pregame and postgame coverage, and we may even be throwing in some special shows coming up in the weeks ahead. Stand by for some announcements there. For Regan Dewar, who did an excellent job with the camera work and who brought you the homecoming ceremonies tonight. For our technical director, Braden Strain, this is Mike Fell saying thanks for watching. Our final score tonight, St. Thomas More 55, lead Deadwood nothing. The Cavs are a perfect 8-0 to finish the season. We'll talk to you on Thursday night as we bring you round 1 of the Class 11B South Dakota 2025 State Football Playoffs. And we say good night from Rapid City, South Dakota. Good job, Reed.